The Knicks may have found something with a majority of games coming up at MSG this month. That's a good thing. Maybe they've turned the corner. But I want to start with J.R. Smith and working through that problem, the shoelace hijinks. He was fined for that, benched by Mike Woodson for the Miami game last Thursday on TNT. And Sekou, I want to start with something that Charles Barkley was talking about. He's like, Woodson's trying to win out here. He's trying to keep his job in New York City. And here's J.R. acting really unprofessionally and silly, in a silly manner.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need any other distractions, obviously. They got enough injury issues, off-the-court drama, and just general struggles, you know, to last a lifetime. Mike Woodson's trying to do something different. Mike Woodson's trying to get a team to play at a high enough level where they don't have to worry about anybody's on-court antics. And for J.R. Smith to do what he did, not just in one game, you know, this is 3 times where he pulled this stunt. And I think it was, again, like you said, very unprofessional and really something that the Knicks can't afford to have happen anymore. They've got to have a clean slate going the rest of the season if they want to get this thing turned around.
Yeah, do you have a PS to this story, David, as far as JR and how it was handled by Mike Woodson in terms of a huge game where he just said, you know, you're going to sit and I'm not going to talk about it?
I think that not talking about it is the most important thing. That's what I think got the thing going in the right direction. He made a decision. He's not going to discuss it. We're not going to have 4 days of reaction about it. He said what he said. He got his message across. I don't think it's any coincidence that Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing a little bit more and the Knicks have been playing a little bit better because they go up tempo, but they go up tempo and they're not kind of, you know, slowing down. The ball's not sticking. It's moving from place to place. I think him being back, Felton being back, allows them to kind of get closer to the way they played last year, which was let's move the ball and get up and down the floor and shoot a ton of threes. We got one of the best big shot makers in the game in Carmelo Anthony. Let's get him to the 4th quarter so that he's not exhausted by the end of the 3 quarters taking 35 shots just to keep us in a game. Some of these other guys got to contribute too, and I think they have.
When everyone is together, David, and the pieces are there on the floor for the Knicks, I mean, really, how much staying power do they have? And can they be an impressive team in the East, or do you still see them as, or I don't know if you have or not, see them as flawed?
Well, they're flawed for sure, Vince. And they're not nearly. I don't think they're a contender at all with the team that they have, even at full strength with the team that they have right now. I just don't. You know, they're not an efficient offensive team. I don't think they're a very good defensive team. At least they haven't shown to be a very good defensive team. So I don't think that they're more than a playoff team at best, and they might not even get to the playoffs. I do think that they're playing better, though, and certainly that they have, I think, something to look forward to now the second half of the season.
Sekou, where do they have to go? Amari Stoudemire has stepped up of late. He's been a nice surprise. I don't know about Felton being the ultimate answer there, but like David says, you know, we see the emergence of a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. If Shump stays focused, I mean, what about this Knicks team?
Well, it's consistency. You know, you have to be able to do it for a sustained period of time for anybody to really believe you've turned a corner. Tyson Chandler, obviously, you know, being the key to their team defensively, being the backbone of that defense. Without him, you're never going to see them play to their full strength. I mean, and it's getting as close to full strength as possible as you can with a guy like Amari, who's clearly diminished from what he was previously. I really like what Mike Woodson did. I like the fact that he decided to take a stand with J.R. Smith's antics, because if you allow J.R. to get away with what he did, who else decides to act out or to, you know, to let their attitude manifest itself in a way that's going to take away from that team? Carmelo Anthony has to step up and be the leader of this team as long as Tyson Chandler's out. He's got to take that locker room and keep pushing them along. He can't come out and give the statements like, well, you know, whatever coach says or that, whatever you think. It's got to be his team, his identity, his attitude that propels them going forward.
Before we go, real quick, yes or no, David, J.R. Smith has learned his lesson. He won't be a problem for the rest of the year.
Oh, God, no.
Sekou?
Not even close.
All right.
Wait for the next one.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page with that.